An event that Jack and I have been absolutely dying to go to has finally arrived. We're here in Clark and we're here to drive the new Nissan Z. However excited we are, we have to wait a little bit longer because the cars are actually out on the track right now. It's not our turn yet. So we decided to start here at the Heritage Museum that they set up for us. And it's actually very important because these cars behind me are the ones that started it all back in the 60s and the 70s. You may be familiar with the 370Z that we have a video of and a great piece of history inside that video too that Jack did so much research on. Good job, by the way, buddy. So that is a video that is available with the links found down below. So that's the Z that you're more familiar with. The 60s and the 70s you may not be so familiar with, but when you see the new Nissan Z, this is exactly where they derive their inspiration from, which is to say that it's a long front and then a stout rear, much like most of the cars in that era. I'm talking about maybe possibly some Ferraris look that way, some Jaguars look that way. So it was really the style back then. And what they've done is they've taken all of this and then added a few new modern components and brought out the new Z as it is today. The question is, however, does it drive as well as it looks? Let's go find out. It's still a pull, it's still very much a pull, but I feel as if like the GTR definitely has still more pull to it, more power.
Well, that's a monster with four wheels also. No?
The nice thing about this is that I am on the track right now. You can have a lot of fun with it, but I don't think it would be an issue driving this car inside the city.
No.
Because the steering wheel is, well, it gets tighter when you're doing all of these technical maneuvers and whatnot, but it seems like it's light enough that you could drive this easily in the city.
That's why it's like a Grand Tourer feeling.
Yeah.
Diba?
Can I floor it?
Floor it.
Here we go! Digital speedometer says that we're at 100 kilometers per hour, just like that.
Squeeze it.
Squeeze it out.
That's it. Change. There you go.
Forgot to change gears. I'm obviously saying it's comfortable here on the racetrack and we're having a lot of fun. But I would love to be able, I'm making an excuse here. I'd love to be able to review this in the city.
Yeah.
Which means that I can get a week with the car. So we just finished a drive with the new Z, and compared to the previous one, the 370Z, which I'm sure you guys have seen before, and I've mentioned that we do have a video of, the car feels like it's a bit more accepting, it's a bit softer. It's not as visceral, but at the same time, it feels very confident, inspiring when you're driving around the automobile. Now, mind you, I've only driven it around the track, but at speed. And I didn't feel like I was out of place at all, regardless of how much softer the suspension feels. It's still very safe, still very comfortable, and I think you can last inside the automobile without wanting to jump out of the car immediately. Speaking of jumping out of the car, okay, it feels like, and I'm just saying this again with the experience of just driving inside the track, you could possibly drive this as a daily driver. I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, we just drove it around the track. But the materials inside the automobile, bye George, the materials inside the automobile feel like they're much softer, they're much more forgiving, and inside the car when you're driving, it's actually much quieter. There's still that sound that you get when you accelerate immediately when you put the pedal to the metal, but it isn't like blowing your socks off. So it's not gonna break any EPA laws, not like we have any of those laws in the country, but it feels like it quite possibly could be a daily driver. The last thing that you want to know is the price, which is 3,800,000 Philippine pesos, just about that part. The question is, however, is it worth that money if you can get your hands on it? Well, I can't give you a straight out answer because, well, we only did like 1 or 2 laps around the track. So is it worth it? That is a question that I'll reserve when we finally get our hands on it for a proper behind the wheel. So subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out. Now I do want to walk out, but I do really, thanks a lot, George!